Hi, it's Dr. Lori. This is more rants and raves. This is the time when I show you behind the scenes stuff that's going on here. When I'm not doing appraisals, when I'm doing other things, and things that people say about me online or in other ways. I get stuff off my chest, and I also try to educate everybody about what's happening based on these things. So somebody says, Dr. Lori, I watched these YouTube people, this particular YouTube person online, and I watched your channel, and I asked, when you have questions about, of course, appraisals, do you ask Dr. Lori? And that person said, oh, no, she's too abrasive for me. Well, I don't know how I'm abrasive. I think it has to do with, well, I don't really know. I don't want to really speak for anybody. So the person, or whomever it was who said that she watches that person, and then that channel, the person from that channel said, oh, I don't watch Dr. Lori because she's too abrasive. She said, I don't watch that channel anymore. I just watch you, Dr. Lori. Well, that's very nice. I think it has to do with me being straightforward, and I don't like any of the you-know-what. I don't like the stuff that is, in fact, inaccurate, because I've spent a long time getting the information right. Now, of course, I'm human, I can make a mistake, but I will say this. This idea that that's abrasive because I'm straightforward, I'm to the point, I'm efficient, I want you to get it, is because I care about helping all of you. Now, she thinks I'm abrasive, good luck to her. She doesn't have to watch me. The person who watches me, it's nice of you to watch me too. But basically, this idea of confusing being abrasive with being straightforward and confident and knowledgeable, they're not the same. They're not the same. And here's another thing that gets me. So I'm interviewed by a very well-known national newspaper, very well-known, you all know it. I'm interviewed by, and they said, well, we appreciate all your information about this story, about this particular work of art, and, we have a question for you. Do you mind if we don't use your title, doctor? And I said, well, why not? And they said, well, we've interviewed other experts, and they don't have the same credentials that you have. We don't want them to feel bad. We want to quote them too in the article, but we want you all to basically look the same. So they didn't want to use my title to explain my expertise. Now, I don't know what you think, but of course, I said, no, I prefer that you use my title. And there's a lot of reasons for it, and it has nothing to do with ego. It has to do with there's a reason why you ask an expert, and there's a reason why people see people as experts. There's not a lot of expertise that goes around anymore, but in fact, I really thought that a very well nationally known newspaper should want to highlight who their sources are and want to highlight who they're talking about and how that evidence is supported by a particular expert. Now, doesn't mean that every expert has to be a doctor, but I don't think that it was right that they asked me to hide my expertise and particularly my title in this way. What do you think? My next rant and rave is about the long-standing time I've been in this field and the cycles that I've seen repeating and repeating and repeating. And one of the cycles you see repeating is, in fact, the way in which now what you have are YouTube thrifters or people who are thrifting who have built up a big inventory because they've been shopping, and now they have to come to me. They want to come to me because they need to know what these pieces really are and identify them properly and get a value for them because they really need to sell them now. The other situation which has happened, it's really a repeating of history. This used to happen with the antique dealers. Once they either passed away or their children ended up with the stuff, they would all come to me and say, well, now we really need Dr. Lori because we can't sell the stuff or we don't have time to sell the stuff, and we really need to know what it is and how to value it, which is the information that I provide. So basically, I'm seeing this now with a whole new generation of folks who have said, I have to buy all this stuff because I have to have the inventory for my YouTube channel to do my videos, and now I really need to sell this stuff. I need help. I need Dr. Lori. This is cycles. This is happening in cycles. And someone like me who's been sitting in this chair for years and years and years and appraising pieces and helping people with respect to proper evaluations and identifications with appraisals, this is what happens. So, I'm seeing it happen now. Now it's happening with the YouTube folks who were thrifting in thrift stores, to do their YouTube channel content. And now they're saying, I've got all of this stuff. What do? I need Dr. Lori's help. So I get this. Someone says, hey, Dr. Lori, I really need your help. I need your help immediately. I need your help right now. Okay. That's difficult to start, but okay. I bought this sculpture. It's I bought it for a little bit. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm taking an offer. I don't really know what it's worth. I'm not really sure what it is, but I took an offer and I have agreed to sell it. I don't know if this is the best place for me to sell it. I have an appointment which I booked with you, but it's a couple days, later, and now I've agreed to sell this piece already without going forward with the appointment with you. I think I'm going to cancel the appointment with you. I'm wondering if you can help me right now. I could send you pictures because the person who wants to buy it from me wants to come over and pick it up really soon. So I got more than what I paid for it, but I think I'm letting it go too low. So I'm getting more than what I paid for it, but I priced it a little bit higher, but I think I'm still going to lose some money because I think I did it too fast. Okay, so you did nothing. I told you I'd help you. I told you how I'd help you. You had the appointment and now you're going to do all of these things and now you want me to save you because you didn't want to do anything in the right order. Well, you should have had the appointment with me. Let me give you the appraised value. Wait to list it, then list it in the right environment because now you don't think you've listed it in the right place. And now you're going to let it go too low. And now you don't know what to do with the buyer who says, yeah, I'll take it at that price. Because now you're thinking, I let it go too low. Gee, I should have asked Dr. Lori first. Right, that is what you should have done. So it's a little bit of a problem. Let's do it in the right order. Then you would know the information. You'd have the right identification. You'd know where to list it. And then you'd be able to get and work toward getting top dollar as opposed to feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm going to let it go for too low. Now what do? I've told you what you do. All you have to do is let me help you. So here's one for you. Somebody says, I don't understand why you can't just outright answer a question. So apparently I'm doing an Ask Dr. Lori Live, a question comes up and I refer to another video, or I basically am answering something, or I'm basically only giving not enough information for this person's liking. I guess that's the problem. So here's the issue with respect to that. First of all, so then they say, oh, well, self-promotion's fine. It's not self-promotion. I do a lot of work to get the information in the videos that has all the images, that has all the information, that to give you a very, very broad informational video. Now, during Ask Dr. Lori Live, I don't know that particular question is coming. Now, I could answer it halfway, or I could say, hey, the whole thing is explained in this video. So it's not self-promotion, it's I want you to get all the information. Also, because Ask Dr. Lori Live, of course, is unscripted, which I tell you every single time, I don't know that question is coming, so I don't have images ready. I don't have of course, an example to give you, which I give you in the video, which is why I refer you to the video. So it's not self-promotion. I'm trying to get you the information that's clearest, that's all thought out, and that's full of information for you. So that's what I think of that. But of course, everybody thinks everybody's doing self-promotion, which is not what it is. And I do answer a lot of questions. They could probably put in, here's where she answers a question, here's where she answers a question, here's where she answers another question when she doesn't even know it's coming, right? So I answer all those questions right on the spot often. They could probably just show you all of that tape too. But okay, you think it's self-promotion? I do that so you get the full answer to the question with visuals, with examples, so it's easier for you to learn it. That's why I do it. So then I heard this. Hi, Dr. Lori. I just got a Goodwill Bluebox that I bought from a major American city. I actually got 2 of them. And, they were just terrible. They were terrible. Everything in it, there was no metal, there was no gemstones, there was nothing good in these 2 blue boxes, and I'm never going to buy them again. They're terrible. Everybody should stop buying these Goodwill Blueboxes. Well, that could happen, that some of the stuff that's in, there's only earrings, 1 earring, not a lot of stuff, So nothing that this person, I guess, could put together and then resell. It's tangled, it's terrible, I'm throwing all of it into the garbage was what I heard. So, okay, here's the thing about this. There's a couple things I think might be going on, but first of all, I've proven to you that those Goodwill Blueboxes could have great stuff in them, very, very valuable stuff that's overlooked, right? I've proven that many times. The other thing is, so it's out there. I wonder if this person is trying to put that out there in the hopes that other people will get discouraged and not buy any more of the Goodwill Blueboxes. Maybe that's the agenda. Maybe there's no agenda, but maybe that's the agenda. Maybe it also is that they actually missed themselves what was valuable in the box. thinking that, because they didn't want to bother untangling necklaces, not really checking the marks, not really looking at the pieces, maybe, they just missed some stuff. So that's all very possible too. You don't always know what's going on. So, when you see this kind of stuff on social media or other places, you want to be aware of what another agenda might be. So think beyond or think outside the box, even if it's a blue box. So I've heard a comment where someone says that, at your stage show, you're belittling this person. I don't understand why you don't have more patience with, your audience. I have to say that I think there is a difference between belittling. I never belittle anybody. I think everybody has a lot to contribute to everything that I do. And I don't see anything as me being belittling anyone. But I do tend to tease as part of course, my antique appraisal comedy tour. And I will say that when it comes to it, if I get impatient, it's because people are either not listening, not reading, not following directions, or expecting something that they shouldn't expect. So, I do think I have a whole lot of patience. Most teachers have a lot of patience, I have to say that. But I will say that, you're entitled to your opinion. I will say go back and see it from that exchange of I'm teasing with the person, which is part of the fun of my events. And all the people who of course are at my events, my audience members, will oftentimes say, hey, that was fun, I enjoyed that. So it's always done in good humor, and it's always done and not to belittle anybody. I would hate to be thought of that way. So I'm sorry that that's what you think. I do think patience, I think I have a lot of patience, and I think there are a lot of you who would agree that I have a lot of patience. But again, I'm a human being, and if you don't think I have patience, you're entitled to your opinion. I think you're wrong, but, that's fine too. I think there's a very, very small percentage of you who really think that I'm rude or that I'm belittling people or that I'm impatient. You don't do all of this for as long as I've done it if you don't want to help others. So then there's a person who thinks I'm rude in a lot of ways. Let me give you all the rude examples from this person. So this person says, I think you're rude when you're doing Ask Dr. Lori Live and you're giving free appraisals and you then see a question or you see a super sticker or a super chat, and then you thank the person for the question or thank the person for the super chat or the super sticker. So now if I didn't thank them, so this person thought I was rude because I didn't focus on the person who I was doing the appraisal with. Instead, I said thank you to someone who a super chat popped up in front of me. Well, if I didn't thank that person, they would probably think I was rude. Then they said I was rude because they don't believe any of the values that I put on anything because I'm rude. Okay, that makes no sense to me. But all right, you are entitled to your opinion. And on one of the TV stations that I appear on weekly, they would, if I'm ever on that station, they would churn the channel because guess what? They think I'm rude. Okay, well, this person obviously thinks I'm rude. I think we got the point. But all these other ways, if I don't thank someone, then it's rude. If I do thank someone, then it's rude. So sometimes you just can't win with certain people. I have to say that I hope she does change the channel, or he does change the channel, because basically I don't want to be bothered with people who think I'm rude or are mean or are trolls or are difficult. I think it's a big waste of time, and I only have so much time to get all this information out to all of you folks who know that my agenda is to help all of you. So that's what I say about people who say, oh, you're rude. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me get stuff off my chest. It's always good to know what's happening behind the scenes. I'm Dr. Lori. I'll see you next time.